Today we're going to make a really simple ramen, an amazing dish, really healthy, really incorporates our 30 plants a week, which is really important for us. Then you can see here we've got a real nice variety of colours. Eat the rainbow, we're eating food as close to nature as nature intended. We have a miso paste in this, which is a fermented soybean. Fermentation is really good for the gut biome as well. So with this one today, we're not going to put any animal protein in there in the sense of chicken or lamb or fish, but we are going to do a really nice 6-minute egg and gives it a little bit more texture and flavour. Really tasty. Okay, so what we're going to do first is both of you are going to have a look at what ingredients you want to put in there, and we'll talk about each ingredient and how to prep them now before we start to saute them off. It's good to point out at this stage as well that with ramen, if you were doing this in the restaurant scene, you would make a really nice hearty stock. So you'd make a vegetable stock or a chicken stock that you've reduced down to get a really intense flavour. What we're doing here is a really quick cheats version. So we're going to start by prepping our vegetables. So if we take our mushrooms first, so a lot of people would just maybe cut that in quarters like that, which is fine, and it eats really nice and it's chunky. But actually, for me, I want a nice slice. If we get our main pans on now as well, 2 tablespoons of oil, and that's it for that oil then, that's all we need. That's a rapeseed oil, very available, got a very high smoke point, so you want it to be nice and warm. You can start to see the oil starting to spread across the pan. Some of the oils like a sesame oil, which is a flavoured oil, this would probably burn at a much lower temperature, so now it would start to burn, which is going to give it a bit of a sour taste. Right. We're going to go in with our mushrooms. You should start to hear a little sizzle when they go in. Maybe turn your stove down to number 3 while we get the rest of our ingredients going. Should we go to our cabbage next? So this is a Savoy cabbage. We don't really want this woody core, and we're just going to pull that bit out. So being as these are washed carrots, actually we can eat the skins. There's no problem with that, and actually with most vegetables, a lot of the goodness is in the skins. So all we're going to do here is create some ribbons. Just going to go around the carrot. So we get these really nice ribbons. You get the same effect with the speed peeler, which is going to add a really nice colour and a good texture to your ramen broth.
And they'll cook in no time, those ribbons.
Absolutely no time. Should we do broccoli? Okay. So we've floretted this broccoli down. As you can see, the stem is all gone. So here, you could just pick off these small florets. Personally, I don't like too much broccoli in mine because I think it can add a bit of a gassy taste to it. They're the florets. This is the stalk. That normally goes in the bin, right? So we don't really want to be eating this outer part because it can be a little bit fibrous and a little bit chewy. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trim some of this fibrous stuff off the sides. So there'd be no way in Japan they'd be wasting this. So what we've got there, as you can see, is a really nice core, absolutely fine to eat. We're just going to cut that down. We don't waste anything. If we're cooking on a budget, we can't afford to waste anything. It's because if you were doing this at home, you would probably prepare all of your vegetables first so that you're ready to just go. The cooking part is super quick, super easy. The important part here was getting as much flavour out of those mushrooms as possible. Good mushrooms to put in there. So these were chestnut mushrooms. My recommendation, if you can afford them, would be shiitake mushrooms. Okay. So we're going to drop our vegetables into the pan now on a nice steady saute. So we've got our carrots, we've got our cabbage, we've got a little bit of broccoli stalk in there as well that we've cut to this really nice heart. And that's the great myth. Is ramen Chinese or Japanese?
I thought it was Japanese.
It depends who you ask.
Oh.
So what we've got now is a nice selection of vegetables in there. So we will add some baby spinach, but as we all know, spinach cooks super quick. So we don't need to add that until very, very last. I'm going to put coriander in mine, which I'm just going to chop a little bit now. Run a knife through it. Just shredding it. Again, I'm prepping ahead. I'm ready for when my dish is finished. Just to garnish, I've got my pickled onions, got some radish, got some spinach, miso paste. This is a quick hack, and you're getting home from work late and you want to do something, then again, you can buy ginger pastes and garlic pastes. Fresh is always best in my opinion, but these are great little hacks to have in your fridge. Not everyone's favourite.
Not my favourite.
I do like a chili pepper in mine. Add a bit of heat, right? So we're adding a bit of heat to our ramen. Again, I wouldn't add this until right at the end. So using the bridge method again, I'm going to cut the chili directly in half all the way through. Now, we've just talked about the heat. A lot of the heat is in these seeds. So one way we can get rid of that is we don't really want to eat the seeds, but we do want to eat the nice fleshy red chili pepper. I'm just going to cut either side of that membrane inside. Right, so we're going to quickly talk about noodles. So for this recipe, there's 3 different types of noodles we can use. The most common probably the most cost effective as well, is an egg noodle. And there's nothing wrong with them, they're super tasty. Onto our spring onions. So we've taken off the outer skin. So we're just going to take a little bit off the bottom, because we don't want to eat that bit. It's like a little beard. That can go in there. And then we're going to take the very top bit off, just where it's starting to wilt. And we talked about surface area on the mushrooms, as well as the chili pepper. Just cut them all the way through. So if you skip through all of that prep, we're now at the saute piece. So we have our pans back on. Please note that we also have a pan on the back that is rolling with water, ready to do our egg. Okay, you should start to hear that sizzling already. Okay, we've all got our spoons. Just move that around a little bit. So what we're doing here is we're not fully cooking these vegetables now, we're just giving them a little bit of caramelization. And all we've got in there is vegetables. And how good does that smell? The colours are there, but you're starting to see it go a little bit translucent. I'm going to go in there now with my stock. Take your litre of water, and it goes straight in. And you should hear that sizzle. So what that is doing as well is bringing that flavour off the bottom of the pan. So before we add our noodles, we're going to go in with our 100 grams of miso paste. So a really nice sized jar from Tesco here, because it's exactly fit for the recipe. So now we're starting to really build that flavour in there. Okay, and you'll see it's gone from a see-through stock to a nice cloudy broth. So now we're going to go with our garlic. Again, if you're using fresh, probably about 4 cloves, 5 cloves chopped up. We're using this puree because we've just got back from work, we're tired, we just want to eat. This is a 90 gram jar. The recipe calls for 30 grams, so we're going to go a third of this jar straight in. Straight onto that ginger paste. Really nice ginger smell. Wow. Okay, the recipe calls for 50 grams. This is again a 90 gram jar. So we're going to go roughly half of this jar. Our last ingredient for now, we're going to go in with our soy sauce. 2.5 tablespoons. Be careful with salt, because we know that our soy sauce is going to be salty, as is our miso paste. But I will add some pepper at this point, because I like that little bit of...
You've gone black pepper, but if we've only got white...
White pepper's good, but remember it's really harsh, white pepper. Black pepper's got a much more palatable flavour. Now we're going to go in with the spring onions. Straight in. Noodles. Up to you how many noodles you put in. And as that's coming up to the boil now, I'm just going to turn that right down, because I don't want to boil it, because I don't want stewed vegetables, I want some texture. So I'm going to go in with all 3 of these. So that's 3 nests of noodles. Just going to submerge them in my stock. Make sure they're below the surface. And now I'm going to turn it off.
Turn the heat completely off.
Turn it off. As long as your noodles are under. If you had a lid, you could put a lid on the pan now. The noodles are already cooked. They just need rehydrating.
Oh, I see.
So all we're waiting for here is the noodles to start to expand and fall out of their nest. I'm just going to pop my little bit of radish in there as well. 6-minute egg. We want a nice soft egg. I'm going to get a 6-minute timer ready. Okay, so we've got a nice pan of water on a rolling boil. We're going to gently lower our eggs into it. If your eggs are room temperature, that actually helps. Just lower them in, because again, if you're too hard and drop them in too hard, they will crack. Gently roll them in. Put as many eggs in as you want for your recipe. We're putting 2 in here, it's roughly an egg each. And then we're going to have that on a simmer on a 6-minute timer, which we've started now. We'll just pay a little bit of attention to our ramen again now. By that I mean we'll take our lid off. Whilst we're waiting for our eggs, we'll just give it a stir, make sure everything's working properly.
It smells so good.
Now I know that I've got roughly 4 minutes on my egg, I'm actually going to add my spinach to the top of this broth now. Okay, remembering this is 4 portions, just give it a bit of a mix. And then I'm going to go as carefully as I can into my bowl. Holding it over the pan first, let anything drop off. And then over the bowl, let's do a nice little portion of noodles. And then I'm going to go on with a little bit of that broth as well. And then I'm going to go on with one of my soft eggs. Still soft in the middle. There we go. If you like coriander. And then why not, with some really nice pink pickled onions. And that is a super quick, hearty ramen. So just to finish that off nicely as well, sesame oil drizzle, simple ramen, 4 portions, really cheap to make.
Just brilliant comfort food, isn't it?
Absolutely.